We're going to start with international news today, though, with the latest tension brewing between China and the United States. The team here at In Question believes now is the perfect time to take a closer look at what's actually driving the trade war between Beijing and Washington, a war that reached new heights this week. On Monday, the Trump administration announced new tariffs targeting $200 billion worth of Chinese imports with a 10% tax, which will soon rise to 25%. Goods like batteries, flat-screen TVs, medical devices, and aircraft parts will be hit by this latest levy. China responded by slapping $60 billion in U.S. goods with their own 10% levies. Products like meat, nuts, auto parts, and alcohol will be impacted by the move. Speaking in the Oval Office on Tuesday, President Trump accused China of taking advantage of the United States.
So we'll see what happens, but we're making a lot of headway with China. China wants to come over and talk, and we are always open to talking. But we have to do something. We have a tremendous trade imbalance with China, tremendous trade deficit.
Despite Trump's comments, it's not actually clear whether or not China trusts the United States enough to engage at the moment. In fact, here's what the spokesperson for China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs had to say when asked about that very issue earlier today.
就你所问的这个具体问题
I have no information to offer at this moment, but as I said when I took a similar question yesterday, that dialogue and consultation on the basis of equality, good faith, and mutual respect is the only right way out of the China-U.S. trade issue. But for now, what the U.S. is doing shows no goodwill and sincerity.
Now, you may be wondering why the United States is so threatened by China. Well, it may have something to do with China's bold plan to reshape global trade altogether, known as the One Belt, One Road initiative. Announced by Chinese Belt and Road encompasses China's goal to construct what's been billed a modern Silk Road, connecting over 70 countries through one belt over land and one road by sea. Over 70 countries representing 1/3 of the world's GDP have pledged involvement in the plan. Its goal is to revolutionize global trade with a focus on mutually beneficial deals and cooperation. Russia, India, Iran, Turkey, and dozens more countries have joined the project, which China hopes to complete by 2049. Russian President Vladimir Putin has praised the initiative.
Russia is not only supporting this project, One Belt, One Road, but will also actively participate in its realization alongside our Chinese partners and, of course, with other interested states. Creation of the belt of economic development and mutually beneficial trade between Europe and Asia is an actual and important initiative.
With global trade in question, we are joined by Brian Becker, radio host and co-founder, national coordinator of the Anti-War Answer Coalition. So, Brian, President Trump says China's unfair trade policies are what's driving his decision to ramp up these tariffs. Is that true?
No. I mean, let's face it, the United States has a consensus position on China. Donald Trump represents a tactically different orientation than Barack Obama. But let's not forget, Barack Obama, too, starting in 2011 with the so-called Asia Pivot, which was placing 60% of U.S. Air Force and naval assets in the Pacific region by 2020, along with the Trans-Pacific Partnership, was clearly gearing the United States towards a fundamental competition with China. Donald Trump has used a different lever, though, and that is to impose harsh economic tariffs. In other words, instead of trying to build a multilateral opposition led by the United States against China, which Obama's strategy was, Donald Trump feels that unilateral bullying and punishing of China will have the impact of driving China backwards. Both sides have a common goal, which is to prevent China from becoming, through its own peaceful economic rise, a fundamental competitor with U.S. power, economic and military power globally.